Hi, I'm Mark. I'm excited to have the opportunity to share this presentation with you through RootsTech 2021. I attended RootsTech last year, and this is quite different doing it virtually. Last year, I remember walking around the halls of the convention center like salmon trying to get to our classes. So hopefully you'll be able to find your class a little bit easier than I did here virtually. So I'm the president of an organization called the Genealogical Society of India and its Diaspora. We are a new organization that is a nonprofit dedicated to helping others do their family history and genealogical research for their ancestors from the Indian subcontinent. This is an exciting work, and we are excited to have the opportunity to help you, hopefully, to participate in this great activity. My ancestry is from India in part, and I've always been greatly drawn to that side of my family. I love Indian food, and I've loved the stories of India. So I'm excited today to have the opportunity to share with you a little bit about my journey and how I came to connect with my Indian ancestors. Before I get into that, though, I want to share with you a little bit of the information about our organization. We call it GSID for short, or the Genealogical Society of India and its Diaspora. Please check out our website. It is thegsid.com, That's www.gsid.org. And it's a resource that we hope to grow over the years. In addition, we have a Facebook page. If you just look for GSID, GSID on Facebook, you can find our group. We've already had some great successes with people who've been able to connect through the group and help one another doing their Indian family history. Because as you know, if you've been doing this, it's not as easy as finding records in other continents or other areas of the world. So I want to share with you some of the experiences that I've had in my story. So as I said, my mother is from India, and she died when I was 6 years old. So I didn't have a lot of contact with her, and I didn't have a lot of contact with any family members. We were living in the United States and when she passed. And we didn't have contact with her family. In fact, I didn't really know much about her family at all. I didn't know any names of any siblings, how many siblings she truly had or didn't have. All I really had was the name of her mother and father. And so as I started to do family history research, it was challenging. In the early days, I spent time looking through microfiche and other things in order to try to find something that would help me connect with my mom. And I want to now just share a little slide presentation that I put together that will help us communicate a little bit better. So this is a picture of my mom. Her name was Nina, and she, as you can see, is a beautiful woman. And I had heard stories about her, but really didn't know too much about my wonderful mom. Her ancestry, and therefore my ancestry, goes way back in India. In the 1800s, my family from England came to India, and there was a fair amount of intermarriage happening. I don't know exactly where or who married whom, but I do know that this man right here is my great-grandpa Brown. And he's got quite the wonderful mustache going on there, doesn't he? And so in the early days, trying to find about my family history and about my great-grandpa Brown, for example, the resources were in books and microfiche. It was difficult to find information. Years later, the internet came along with FamilySearch and Ancestry and other resources to try to find information. I was able to find my great-grandparents and my great-great-grandparents, but not too much other information really about my family. Today we have some research resources to seek Indian records. We have Ancestry and FamilySearch, and they do have limited records, although I'm told that FamilySearch has a number of records in Hindi that are not digitized. So in other words, they are not searchable, but they're images of the record. So you would have to be able to read them and go through them, but they're not searchable digitally. And then MyHeritage, another major player in the space, does not have, to my knowledge, any Indian records. So let me tell you a little bit about how I found out a bit more about my family. So my mom, I was told, had siblings. I wasn't sure of how many or who they were or where they lived. I thought they all lived in India. And so we posted some information on FamilySearch.org talking about my mom and mentioning the fact that we thought that she had a brother, but we weren't really sure and we didn't know anything about him. About 3 months after we posted that message, we received a message back from a family member in Australia. And this is what the message said. Nina did have a brother. I am his daughter. His name is Dougie, and he is alive and living in Manchester, England. So I was so excited to find this out. I couldn't believe that that was the case. This was my cousin Vivian. And so me and my wife spent many, many days and many hours texting or emailing back and forth with our cousin in Australia, catching up about the family. I found out that my Uncle Dougie was actually quite ill and in a care facility in England, and decided that I wanted to find out all I could about my mom and her family. And so we quickly booked a trip, and within a few months we were over in England visiting with my great uncle, excuse me, not my great uncle, he was great, but my Uncle Dougie. And we met cousins as well, first cousins, second cousins that I didn't even know existed, that made the trip to where my Uncle Dougie was staying so that we could connect. And here's a picture of my Uncle Dougie. As you can see, he's enjoying some delicious curry that one of my cousins made and brought to him. They say that when he was a younger man, that he and I looked quite alike. So that was an exciting bit of family history to find out. So we learned a little bit about my family in India. We found out that my uncle and his siblings, including my mom, had all left and gone to England around the time of partition of Pakistan and India. So my grandfather was a jailer in Karachi, Pakistan, and he was afraid that during partition things might not go well for him because he had worked for the English government. So he wasn't quite sure about what to do. And so he had all his family move to England. Interestingly enough, though, my grandfather himself didn't move. But it was amazing to be able to find this information. And so through this information, we were able to connect with cousins and aunts and uncles and find out a lot of information about my family. And all this was possible because we made a connection through FamilySearch.org. So what's the message I guess I want to leave with you today? If you're searching for your ancestors and you're trying to find information about your family, just start. Just do it. It can be discouraging. You might think that you don't have the resources you need. You might find that you're not getting all of the results that you wish you could. And I understand. I was there. I remember going to a library and going through books and not finding anything, or finding some information on in a card catalog about a book that sounded very promising and sounded like it might have the information that I needed, only to find the book eventually in the library and discover that it had nothing of relevance for me and my family. Or while living abroad, going through microfiche catalogs, sending away for the microfiche, waiting for months for the microfiche to come, going with great anticipation to open the microfiche, then scrolling through the many, many pages on the microfiche, only to find that there was no relevant information about me and my family. But today, we have these amazing resources that are available to us via the internet. And so it's a great opportunity to find our family and to find information about them. So I hope that this has been useful and interesting for you. We hope at the Genealogical Society of India and its Diaspora that we will grow into a resource for you and that are interested in doing your family history for your ancestors that lived or have lived on the Indian subcontinent. Hi, I'm back. I wanted to just tell you a little bit about the Genealogical Society of India. It's a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to helping people do their family history and genealogical research related to the Indian subcontinent. If you have information or you want to join, please come and join with us as we seek out this information and we seek to connect with those who are interested in this area of family history and genealogical research. You can connect with us at the GSID, that is the THE GSID, GSID.org. We also have a Facebook page, which you can look for GSID, or the Genealogical Society of India and its Diaspora. We've already had some folks on the Facebook page who've been able to make connections and have some successes by doing their family history research with the help of others. If you have anything you wish to contribute, reach out and send us a note. And if you have a quandary or a question, maybe we can help. So go to our website, thegsid.org, or our Facebook group page, the Genealogical Society of India and its Diaspora, and let's connect.